Hello designers, welcome to tute number 5. This is where we're going to take away our photograph because I feel like I've got all my basic shapes from my photograph and I don't really want to keep working off it because I want to start really bringing out my own design that's coming through. So for instance, in my photograph there was no tail on my hippo, but I do want a tail on my hippo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to come up and do my lasso tool, my polygon lasso tool, and I'm going to draw my tail in, just with creating little anchor points. Remember, the closer they are together, the more detail you can get. And I'm just going to draw it in. So this is how I imagine a hippo's tail to look. Okay, just like that. And then I finish it by clicking back on itself, and I've defined an area. Now I'm going to color it in. I go and select my color, double click on that little color pane. I want it to be light blue, so I select that onto my image because I've already done it in the past. I hit OK, go to my paintbrush tool, and I simply drag my cursor over that area. Command D deselects it, and there you go, I've got a tail. You can use this same technique now to start working on your background. Okay, so let's have a look at doing a small pattern just by using the brush tool. So I'm just going to select the brush tool. I'm going to select a color. I'm really liking the idea of orange. Okay, and I'm going to make my brush tool a little less wide because I want this pattern to be quite small. And I'm just going to maybe create some dots because the shape of my brush tool is a dot. So look at that, just by going random dots in lines, I'm creating this pattern in the sky. All right. So remember, with the design, we want you to create some pattern and hierarchy. So there's maybe some pattern and hierarchy. I've got something in the sky and I've used point to do it. I might even like to change the shape, the color, and if I just put in a few blues, then that even creates a deeper sense of hierarchy because the blues are at the top of the image, yeah, and the oranges are at the bottom. Okay, so that's one idea of how to do. You can even do strokes. So this is all just freehand, just me using the brush tool, just doing things. We're doing all this on layer 2. All right, let's try something else. Let's get that poly lasso tool again, create some thin triangles. Oops. So let's do thin triangle, go grab my color tool. Maybe I want this to be purple. Yeah, I'd really encourage you to stay with your 4 colors, but if you really want one other color, just one extra color, if you're doing a background, that's okay. Like maybe you want this to be super dark green. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Okay, so Command D deselects it. If you do anything that you do not like, you can always go to this eraser tool, okay? And you can just get rid of it. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't rub out anything else, just something that's within that layer that you've selected. So I can continue to make those shapes just like that. If I have drawn a shape and I want to play around with changing its proportions, you can highlight that shape, okay, by selecting it with your polygon lasso if you like, right? And once you've selected it, remember you can hit Command T for transform. Now that I've just selected that single shape, I can actually come up here and grab this tool, the bilinear tool, and that has created all these anchor points around my shape. I can grab any one of those anchor points and take it out. Okay, look at that. I'm really creating a very interesting shape just by pulling and playing with these anchor points. Once I've got a shape that I like, I just hit return and that places the image. So that just went from a triangle to a very funny shape simply because I highlighted it, I hit Command T for transform, and then I use this bilinear tool up here to stretch the shape. Okay, and then I hit return. So that's another way you can, make shapes in your picture plane. Okay, Control D to deselect that. So you can play around with that until you have got the right type of image. Some people might like to do lines. If you want to do a line, you might like to grab this tool, which is a rectangular marquee tool. Yeah, just drag it out to any shape you like and then color it in with your paintbrush tool. Okay, so there's that. Okay, Command T if you want to bilinear it and see what more can be created. You can really play around with that, it's very fun. Alright, so I'm going to leave you with it and we're going to see what designs you can come up with. Have fun, everybody.